Fellas, you gotta take time to heal. You gotta stop bouncing from relationship to relationship. You have to stop doing that. Take some time to yourself. Take some time to heal. Learn how to be alone for a little bit. Now, as humans, we're not made to be alone for too long without going crazy. Solitude for too long will do damage to the mind. And I've seen this firsthand. This is why people get cats and dogs and other type of companions when humans tend to fail them. But but learn how to be okay and alone with yourself for a period of time. You see what I'm saying? Learn how to enjoy your own company for a while. You understand? Now again, after so long, years and years of it, it'll kind of mess with you mentally, like, because we're designed to interact with other humans, right? It contributes to positive mental health. So, but again, you have to learn how to be by yourself for a while. Heal, get clarity, learn who you are, learn, the things you like, learn the things you don't, learn your boundaries. You can only do this when you're sitting down and you have clarity to think, and you have this clarity to think when you're not in the game, not necessarily not dating, but when your focus is on a relationship and fixing a relationship and making a relationship work and validating yourself and trying to do what you need to do to get your needs met and meet somebody else's needs. When you focused on stuff like that, you can't focus on yourself. You understand what I'm saying? And you need this alone time to focus and heal on yourself. That way you can make yourself better for your next situation. You understand what I'm saying? But if you bouncing from relationship to relationship, every time you get into a relationship, every time it ends, you write in another one. 2 weeks later, you're in another one. I got a homeboy like that. He's still damn near 40 years old. He ain't never been single. You see what I'm saying? But he still act the same way he did when he was 18. That's because he's never had time to grow. But I'll get into that in a second. But take time to heal, right? When you do this, when you go through a breakup and you don't heal, right? You attract bottom feeders, right? You attract the lowest of the low because you're in a low state. And so typically that rebound situation, although it may feel better temporarily, it's typically a person when you catch that rebound, it's typically a person who is not of good quality, right? They're not of good quality, and it's not a coincidence that this person is in your life. This person is there to feed off of you, right? They feed from the bottom. They feed off of negative energy. They feed off of misery. This helps them thrive. This is who you attract when you do stuff like this, where you don't take time for yourself to heal, where you don't take time for yourself to, when you don't take time for yourself to grow and cleanse yourself and purge yourself of those feelings and this toxicity that has been built up from the previous relationship. You attract these type of people, right? And so now that you've attracted these type of people, you desperate because you can't be alone and you need those void filled. And so you're allowing this behavior from the shitty person, because desperation you don't want to be alone. So you stay with the person and you allow it. You see what I'm saying? You allow them to mistreat you. You allow them to disrespect you. You allow them to have their way with you out of fear of being alone, right? And so these people play on it and they drain you until they can't drain you no more. You feel what I'm saying? That's the danger of what happens when you do that. I've never seen people who get in relationships and they bounce from relationship to relationship, that it just gets better and better and better. It typically gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse until the person has a point until they say, you know what, enough of this shit. I need to be by myself sometimes. Women do this a lot better than men. When you see women, if you ever meet a woman and she say she coming off of a celibacy kick, this is probably what it was. Either she came off of a phase, or she coming off of something like extremely traumatic to where, she don't have the energy to date because it took so much out of her, or 9 times out of 10, I didn't say 9 times out of 10, but the majority of the time it's women who have been in relationship after relationship after relationship, and they realize that that's not getting them nowhere. And so they take the time, 6 months, a year, to be by themselves and learn themselves. When you meet women like this that say they've been celibate for so long, this is probably what it is, if it ain't the whole shit. You know what I'm saying? But you can ask questions to weed that out. You see what I'm saying? But women are better at doing this than men are. If men do it, it's forced because they can't get another woman. But women will know how to like stop and just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna chill. You see what I'm saying? Learn from women. Women do it. When you see the women that say, "Oh, I've been celibate for X amount of time," or this and this and that, that's more than likely one of the reasons that they've been doing that. Is because they understand that bouncing from person to man to man to man is not conducive to a positive, healthy relationship that they want. And all you're doing is just transferring toxicity and transferring baggage to the next situation. And the person that's coming onto you is just feeding off of this and feeding off, and this bottom feeder that you attract on this rebound situation is just feeding off all this baggage. And so now you carrying more baggage, you creating more baggage, you creating more toxicity, you creating more bullshit to carry to the next person, right? So now you got all this bullshit. After 2-3 relationships at 5 years, you got all this bullshit. It's on you. People can smell your energy. People can feel your energy. You think you're gonna be attracting the dimes that's healthy and just got it going on? No, you're gonna attract more. And I'm not just talking about looks, because some of the prettiest women are the most scummiest people. So I'm not saying you can't get a dime in terms of look. I'm talking about quality and character. You feel what I'm saying? You know, so you have all of this toxicity, all of this misery, all of this, you know, all of this baggage built up. You think you're going to attract quality with all of this shit around you, with all of this negative energy? No, you're going to attract another vampire. And until you break this cycle, right? Until you break this cycle and heal and make yourself a better person and spend some time alone and grow, you're not going to attract no quality person like that. You see what I'm saying? You guys have to get in the habit and make it a point to when you're in a situation, to where, you know, whether it's 6 months, a year, and it ends, if it ends and it stings and it bothers you, to take a month or two to just chill and relax. Now, if you good like me, you can date, and, you know, if you can date and, you know, be casual with it, right? You can be casual with it so long as you're not catching feelings, because when you're catching feelings, that's when this shit happens, right? But a lot of you guys, I wouldn't recommend it. I always tell you guys, if you can handle it, you know, date around and, you know, help pass the time or whatever. But I always recommend just don't even date, because you end up, it's easier to catch feelings when you're vulnerable. It's easy to catch feelings when you open, when, you know, you hurt and vulnerable and like that. And then this starts the cycle. You see what I'm saying? So always make it a habit when you guys get out of a situation, regardless of how long it is, if it stings you even a little bit, take some time to heal before you start dating again. You see what I'm saying? Because the people you're going to be attracting, number one, you don't want to catch feelings and continue the cycle. But the people you're going to be attracting ain't really going to be good people to have relationships with. But again, a guy like me, I can see through that. I can sidestep that, stick and move. You see what I'm saying? To pass the time. But I don't recommend that, right? Another thing, right? The rebound typically hurts worse because it eased the original pain. So you got this pain, right? You got this pain from a 5-year relationship. And then you get with a woman. She makes you feel so good. Everything is going good. And then this starts going bad after 7 months, and y'all end after a year. This will hurt you more than the 5-year relationship, right? Because it made you feel better. It was like the drug that made you feel better. So now you don't have the drug no more. So now you have the last situation that's hurting you, and now you have this. So now it's like a double whammy. You understand what I'm saying? This is what happens when you're not taking time to heal. And another thing too, right? when like it be hard, right? Because I know why it be hard, because you've been in 3-4 relationship that at this point. And the thing is when you leave a situation, all of the old hurt catch up to you, right? I've had guys that I coach, right? And we coach, and I have to make them take breaks, and it devastates them to the point of almost no return, because they've been dealing with hurt. They starting to, that all that hurt and trauma and baggage is starting to catch up with them, right? So the more times that you know, end a relationship and start a new one, end a relationship and start a new one, when you finally get some time to yourself, it's gonna be 100 times worse versus just one bad relationship. Because now once you're alone, now you're gonna have to deal with the emotions and the baggage and the toxicity of of 5 relationships now. And this is going to damage you. This is mental anguish going through this. I've seen guys literally about to jump off a bridge and coach guys through this, because their whole life they just been in relationship after relationship and they never took the time to heal. So now the healing process is 10 times tougher. You see what I'm saying? It's like keep poking at a wound and keep poking at a wound, and you never give it time to heal. You see what I'm saying? It takes longer to heal, and the wound, the severity of the wound is more severe. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to stop bouncing from relationship to relationship, fellas. That's mandatory, right? Right? You make yourself too, like when you delay this healing process that I was just telling you about, when you delay this, you make yourself more toxic. You make yourself more toxic by it's just compounding and compounding and compounding. And you know, when you have these negative feelings, when you have these negative emotions, it's coming out in your character. And the more this is becoming your character, this is becoming who you are, and it's becoming ingrained in you. And you're becoming a very toxic person, or a very simpy person, which is, simping is borderline toxic. I think simping is toxic. We're going to take a vote. Is simping considered toxic? If so, let me know down in the comments. I believe simping is toxic, right? So, but you know, you make yourself more simpy, you make yourself more toxic when you don't do this. And again, when you bouncing from these relationship to relationship to relationship, you don't give yourself room to grow. And when you don't grow, you're not as attractive. You're not reaching your full potential. You're not self-improving. Again, my homeboy been doing this since he was 18, and he's near 40 now. He still act the same. That's because he hasn't mentally grown. He's just in toxic situation after toxic situation, and his mind is just on relationships. He hasn't had time to cultivate it. So he's still dressed the same, still act the same, and he still talk the same. You see what I'm saying? Because he hasn't taken the time to grow as a person. He hasn't taken the time to cultivate his mind, cultivate his spirit, cultivate his purpose, and work on himself and be the best person that he can be. The relationships just keep draining him and draining him and draining him. You see what I'm saying? And he's just not growing. When you do this, you can't grow. You want to put yourself in a situation to where after a relationship, after a situation, you take a step back, you learn from it, you talk that shit up, you learn the lessons that you need to, you process it, you process that hurt, convert it into strength and motivation and energy, and this is gonna make you stronger. This is gonna make you better. Y'all can't let women outdo y'all, because this is what women be doing. They take them some time and they level up. Not all of them, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying all of them, but women, there's some women who do this. So don't let them outdo y'all. Grow. Take your situation, your relationship, take time to learn from it. Heal, grow, add, subtract what you need to subtract. Let it motivate you. Now go accomplish more. Now you're a better person. You out here stronger now. This strength, this new growth is very attractive. Now you can start attracting the people that you need, the quality women in your life. But when you just bouncing from situation to situation, being depleted and exploited and depleted and exploited and depleted and exploited, you see what I'm saying? You're going to attract who you are, basically. You see what I'm saying? So that's out, fellas. 2022, stop doing that. Take time to heal. Stop bouncing from relationship to relationship.